All right, let's go a little bit bigger picture here. As somebody who knows this U.S.-Mexico rivalry well, Herc, what is the significance for the U.S. of this CONCACAF Nations League three-peat?
I don't think they're... Hold on. It means more to Mexico that they lost 3 in a row than it does for the U.S. men's national team that they won 3 in a row. So it cements the legacy within CONCACAF. But what does that mean? I mean, we know Gregg Berhalter can dominate CONCACAF. We know Gregg Berhalter can dominate Mexico. Are you going to forget that he was 2 seconds away from going home against a Jamaica team without 6 starters? Are we going to forget that this U.S. men's national team under Gregg Berhalter has not done anything that previous U.S. men's national teams, besides Mexico, have not done? Take Mexico away, because you want to dream bigger than CONCACAF. Bruce Arena against Portugal stunned them. Round of 16 beat Mexico. Was a blown handball, no penalty kick that Gregg Berhalter should have had, away from going to a semifinal versus Germany. 2010, that generation won their group in the World Cup. They also in 2009 took away a 35-game unbeaten streak for the Spanish national team that had 2 Euro Cups and a World Cup sandwich in between. They did that. Jurgen's generation, they beat Italy in Europe. They beat Germany. They beat Holland. They went to the World Cup in 2014 in the group of death. They got out of that group. What has Gregg Berhalter's U.S. men's national team, this U.S. men's national team, done that they haven't? The only difference here is Mexico. So what does it mean to the U.S. men's national team legacy? It's just more ammo against Mexico, more credibility against Mexico. That is it.
As far as the rivalry is concerned, Herc, right, there's been lots of ebbs and flows over the years. I was looking this up. So basically, from October 2013 until May 2021, right, so a real time frame of almost 8 years, the U.S. won 0 competitive matches against Mexico. Now, by any definition, that's dominance. And yet, if you go back to that time, there was not a single USA-Mexico game where either side probably went into it saying, we're going to win definitely, right? You genuinely, when these two teams would play, you didn't know how it was going to turn out. And that's where I think the biggest difference is here. This three-peat has solidified that not only is the U.S. better than Mexico, right, but that we now know that the U.S. are favorites when they play Mexico. That, to me, is a remarkable change. And I don't know that this has been the case in this rivalry since, like, the 80s. Yeah. Really, if you think about when this rivalry started to turn, it was early 90s. By about the mid-90s, there was some doubt as to who would win when these two play. There's no doubt anymore. There's no doubt. Anybody betting on Mexico is just throwing away their money.
It's difficult right now, and there are ebbs and flows, and this can change, though it's not looking like it's going to change anytime soon by the way these programs are trending. We always hear this. If they play 10 times, maybe they lose once. If they've played 7 times, they're not lost yet. So we're heading into that so-called, it's very dominant, and it's almost a given territory.
Yeah, and it's worth noting, right, they've beaten Mexico in 2 of these finals. They also beat Canada in one of the other finals. They've played a bunch of other teams from CONCACAF. So it's not just dominance over Mexico, it's also dominance over your region, which is very valuable. But to the graphics point and to your point, Herc, you're not going to get to play only CONCACAF in Copa America, and you're not going to get to play only CONCACAF in the World Cup. There will be stiffer tests for sure in the future. Speaking of the future, let's take a look at the U.S. summer schedule, because as we said, they got a bit of a break now with the club season wrapping up. Next time they'll be together June 8th against Colombia in Washington, D.C., then June 12th against Brazil in Orlando. All that ahead of the Copa America opener against Bolivia, June 23rd in Dallas.